Hi, everybody. This is Adam. It's good to see you here for Dealing with Different. My name is Adam Brown. I have a very special guest tonight. I'm very excited. Let me bring her in. Mary Elizabeth Jackson. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Adam. Hi, I'm so
How
excited to
have you
be here.
been?
I've been great. Interesting day, but
Excellent.
great.
Excellent. I want to just check for a second. Um, Maybe if you could introduce yourself to the audience, I'm going to make sure that I get some behind the scenes stuff done.
Okay, sure. Hi, everybody. So I'm Mary Elizabeth Jackson, and I am a mom of three wild children and an author, a children's book author, a writer, and I am an advocate for special needs and disabilities. So I'm super, super excited to be here tonight to talk to Adam and talk about, I guess, things that I do and my life and point of view, and because everybody who's involved with disabilities has their own angle, I guess they're working, and so some are very similar because we all have a common goal. We're trying to make things better in the world for those with special needs and and where I'm from, we say disability, so ability with a
Right.
capital A. And so, it's good to share and connect with others like-minded.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes. Excellent. And there's a lot of work to be done.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
we know there's a lot of work to be done.
Yes.
For those of you that don't know my background, I was a public school teacher for over 10 years and then was an administrator for another, I don't know, maybe 5 years, I think. Most of that was in California, middle school age. Man,
Yay.
yeah. Hi, Jennifer. Thanks for
Yeah. Hi,
joining.
Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
So I've seen the real life implications of children who have disabilities not being able to have access to what they deserve to have access to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is going to be a two-parter. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim.
This is going to be a two-part episode.
Yeah.
Part one tonight, we're going to get to know a little bit about Mary and some of the work that she's doing because it aligns so much with the Adam Tilted vision. And I'm excited. We're going to partner up and change the world. And you're going to help us.
Yes.
Okay. Um, the, oh, I got so excited. I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, so we're going to change the world. Oh, that's part one. Okay, part two, um, we're going to have Mary back on, and we're going to go into a little bit more about some of the things that we can do to make it easier for children
Mm.
with disabilities or children who are going to encounter people with disabilities, which is all children.
Right.
And give you some tools to avoid encountering those awkward situations that you find yourself in when you don't know what to do. So we're going to give you that knowledge. And we're going to do a deep dive in part two. Today, we're just going to skim the surface because there's just so much to cover. But I want to focus on getting to know Mary and the work that she's doing so we can base the part two on that. So please add your questions to the comments as we go. We'll pause periodically to check those out and make sure that we are addressing those. And also share this to your timeline. This is so important, this work that we're doing.
Mm.
It's to help people have the life that they deserve to have. No one should be denied a proper education because they were born differently than most people.
Amen.
So we need to work together to stop that. So Mary, how did you get into this work? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, well, I became an advocate. I think we become advocates, obviously, when we have children, no matter how those children come into your life, even if you're a teacher, you're an advocate for children. Okay. So my advocacy work began when my middle child was diagnosed as developmentally delayed and Asperger's, and she was speech delayed. So she didn't talk till she was like 4 years old. And on our journey, when she was 4 or 5 years old, for about that year, from 2008 to 2009, in the preschool classroom setting that she was in, she was abused for 8 months by her teacher in the special education classroom. So that led me to become a different kind of advocate for my child, because I had to speak up for her, because I had
I imagine.
And that rocked my world, as you can imagine, and changed my life forever. I was never the same after that. I don't even parent the same that I would have, I think, had that never have occurred in my life or her life. So that journey, which is still too hard to write about, because I will write a book about it, but it is a very difficult thing to still talk about and write. If I start to write, then it brings up all that stuff. I spent 4.5 years in a legal battle with the school system where I live with 6 other families. So I was not alone. There was a group of us that the children were affected. And there's no punishment to fit the crime, as far as I'm concerned, because it's unacceptable, especially when a teacher has been in a system for 11 years prior to this, and they just kind of moved her around, and there were no cameras to ever catch anything. And so by the time it got to my child and the other kids in the classroom, it was pretty intense stuff. And kids are so young, and they can't really verbalize. You know, she was in class with children who were disabled, children in wheelchairs, children complete nonverbals. You know, a couple of
it makes me sick. I'm sorry.
I know it's hard to talk about.
Do you prefer Mary Elizabeth? Do you want?
I go by that because of my writing as an author, because there's no Mary Elizabeth Jacksons out there as an author, so that's why I went that way. So
great. That's why I'm Adam Tilted.
There you go.
Because there are a million Adam Browns, but there's only one Adam Tilted.
That's right. Absolutely.
Okay. So, yeah, no, Mary Elizabeth, that is
pretty intense.
So disturbing.
Absolutely.
To me, especially as someone. That's Jake, my German Shepherd.
Hi, Jake.
Aww. Okay, so Mary, why don't you continue talking about your journey, how you got into, like I said, a little bit about your work.
That's fine. We love dogs, so. I, in 2010, attempted to introduce cameras in the classroom for security to change those things from ever happening. It's been a long fight. Most people are very resistant to it, which to this day, sitting here, I still don't really totally understand why. If we are trying to better the world and we're trying to better the protection, because you know, federally we have to have cameras in schools now because of all the shootings that have happened across our country and the world, and so this is really not that much of a step away from that. I am working. Oh, I can't hear you, Adam. Hi, Kim.
I muted myself. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. So what I'm doing is working. Actually, I continue to push for these kind of things and better education for our kids and the environment for children in classrooms. 2 years ago, I went and got myself certified as an advocate for special needs and disabilities. And I got my certification from Vanderbilt University. And there's quite a few of us around here. So I advocate for families and with families when they go into IEPs, things that are happening at school. And I right now don't charge anything. So, you know, if anybody has any questions that's watching, feel free to kind of pipe them in, and, you know, we can maybe answer some questions for you.
And which state are you in right now?
I'm in Tennessee.
Tennessee.
So, yes. No, I want to say that I am a full supporter of teachers, and I love teachers. My mom was a teacher. I went to school to be a teacher. And this can happen in any classroom setting. It doesn't matter. And we don't raise our children to go to school and kind of be looking out for these kind of things. But when it does happen to you in a public school setting, it's very shocking.
Will you expect school to be a safe place?
Yeah, you absolutely, especially for something to go on for 8 months. I mean, and then you get a call from the police department letting you know it's happened to your child. That's just beyond belief for a parent. So, and I have to stay detached from it a lot in order to just be able to
I
talk
mean, the
about
way
it.
you have channeled that into something so positive, bravo, because
Thank you. We have to. It's the only way to get through it. You got to take your lemons and you got to make your lemonade in life. So, my hope through this is that we can better the environment in classrooms so that going in and teaching kids and teachers through maybe professional development, things like that. I know we're doing a little bit of this here right now, is using the mindfulness techniques and the zones of emotions. Inner Kids is a really great tool to use. And if we can use those in the classrooms to deflate situations before they kind of escalate, that would solve so many problems right there. So let's take all of this, since there's so much out there that is hesitant about cameras in classrooms. Why don't we go the opposite direction and put together legislation that's going to just provide positive training and positive tools, and
absolutely.
and they our kids need this anyways. Kids are going to keep coming into this world who need everything outside the box. The schools cannot keep up with it, and it's not the teacher's fault. It's that these our kids are coming in and they need different things.
Well, the education system in this country is based on the factory model.
Yes.
The kids come in first grade, they get parts added to them, and then they go on down the conveyor belt to second grade. And then stuff happens to them, and they are expected by the end of 12 years to be out.
Right.
And it's not a one-size-fit-all kind of thing. I mean,
No.
teaching, it has to be a connection, because you have to trust somebody before you can learn from them.
Right.
And that's what I learned as a public school teacher. I was working in San Francisco in some very rough neighborhoods. I mean, these are downtown urban schools,
Wow.
gang neighborhoods. And I was teaching photosynthesis. What do they care? Their cousin got shot yesterday.
Right.
Oh,
God.
So I had to, that was a real wake-up call for me, that not just in teaching, but in my life in general, it's all about making connections with people.
Right.
and doing whatever you can individually as well as collectively to help each other be the best that we can all be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Yes. And we've got to keep, we have to keep evolving education to keep up with these kids coming in, because they're so brilliant. And I think that they teach us. I mean, I have 3 children, and 2 of mine are on the spectrum. They have special needs, and they've taught me how to look at life differently. Okay, you have your child who is maybe deaf or semi-deaf, so you have to learn the world through their way of learning. If they can't see, you got to learn it the way they learn it. And I think it's because we were intended to see outside the box. We were not intended to see inside of a box. We were intended to close our eyes, close our ears, and use all the senses that we were given. And that is the way, that's one of those lessons I know is meant to happen there. So
Yes.
I've met some people who they can zone right in. They're like kid whisperers, and they can zone right in with your kid, And we have a school here, actually a private school that's specifically for these kind of kids who need extra than what they're getting in public school. And the director of that school, he's a kid whisperer. I mean, he can sit with a kid and immediately know
That's awesome.
the best way this kid can learn. And I'm like, oh, you want to go like this to him, because they get it. And so you're going to help that kid thrive. And that's what we want. I mean, kids are our future. So we need to gear them so they can thrive and be as productive in life as they possibly have the opportunity to be, in whatever format that is, and everyone's going to be different. So the rest of the world has to change,
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that most people are on board with that. They just are not quite sure what to do.
I know.
So we're going to educate them. We're
Yeah.
gonna educate ourselves because I've learned so much from you just in the time that we've talked up until
Oh,
now.
thank you.
So, that's great. We're at the halfway point. I want to
Yeah.
just check in with the audience and see. We've got some highs and how you doing? No questions so far. So I want to hear about your book.
Okay. Absolutely, because I am hoping to use this to put books out there for children with sensory issues and for all those social skills. I mean, all kids have to learn social skills, and it's a very difficult thing to learn. I have a mom who emailed me the day, and she said she has a 2-year-old. She says, "Can you please write a book about being nice because you can't share when you're 2? So I want a book to teach my child how to share." And I was like, I would love, yes, I'm going to write all these books. So my book, Perfectly Precious Poolicious, which Adam has up on the screen, is to me feels like a complete gift that was given to me because I did not see this path in my life. And it came out of, I had my last child at 45. I got pregnant very late in life as a mom with this baby. Very scary pregnancy, very scary recovery. And in that recovery and that place of in, complete immersion of love and gratitude came this book. And this book is written from the viewpoint of a baby and how perfectly made the baby feels that its mom feels about him. And so that's the cover of the book. And I've got a hardback right here because it's in hardback and softback. And it's just won an award May 2nd for the Maxi Award. So you can look up maxiaward.com. And I love it because, Adam, can you see the seal? It's got a
That
child in a wheelchair.
Congratulations. That is so exciting.
Can you see the child in the wheelchair?
Yes.
Isn't that cool? It's
That is
so cool.
awesome.
So I love it because of being an advocate and then what this represents. This came out of 2 people who their child, the mom had an infection in the 3rd trimester of her pregnancy. The child was born deaf and blind and brain damaged. So she didn't live past the age of 6. And the foundation is there. So the money that comes in goes to families in need whose children have illnesses and that kind of thing. So I love the representation
That's
of it and being
great.
part of it. And so I also have a CD, and the CD is available on CD Baby, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you can stream music. And it's got 10 original songs that were written for the book that are just beautiful. My daughter has actually recorded the songs. So it's kind of a family thing, And Black Rose Writing is my publisher. They're out of Texas. The book is on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes and Noble, anywhere you can, buy books. Kmart even carries. We just found out not too long ago.
Black Rose Public.
BlackRoseWriting.com. Yeah, that's the publisher. Reagan Roth. He's awesome. Love him. And I'm signing another contract this Friday for the next book in the series. So I'm super excited about that. And this book is it was inspired by my son and all the things that he needed when he was born, and just knowing that no matter how he came into this world, I love him no matter what. It doesn't matter. They're still perfect, So I'm going to continue this book. I have tons of material considering that he's 4 now, so he's constantly inspiring me to write. Hi, Donna Marie. So June 14th and 15th, Kindle is running a promotion on the book. And so you can go get it. They're giving books away and they have it for very cheap. So please go buy the book or get the book or they'll give it to you free. I'm so excited about that. I really want it out there in the world because that time between a parent or a caregiver and a child and that reading is so sacred. It's so sacred. And this is love. I want to put love back out there. We need love in the world. Love and we're all good.
Yes.
I'm
feeling it.
So it's my path. It's my path is to.
And reading is good too.
Yeah. So total advocate for reading.
An actual book.
Yes. Well, the pages.
Love
so
that.
the pictures are really big in the book. If you see the book, And so I know from like babies and children love those big faces and eyes, and it really draws them in. So I'm so glad we were able to put that in the book and be able to, get that out there. And so people can, I don't know, there's a draw to it. And I really like that.
Yeah, excellent. Because I worry about kids' love for reading
Absolutely.
without having a tangible book. Because I know that for me, I already love to read, but it's not the same reading it on a Kindle or an iPad, or it's just not the same experience. I don't feel as connected to it. And I think that's because I'm not physically doing anything. I'm not,
Yeah.
So I don't know. But the electronic versions are good too, especially now that we have, big tablets and stuff to show, and kids are used to that. So
I know.
I guess I have to move forward. I know.
They need that. They need that, something to do with their hands and to feel it. There's that part of the brain that learns that way,
Yes, I agree. I'm that type of person. I want to take it apart and put it back together, see how it works.
Yeah.
One day I took
you have an engineer's mind.
I took our vacuum cleaner apart.
Oh.
It was clogged. It had a clog. I could see the clog. It was right there. All I needed to do was take off this one part.
Oh.
Well, but to take off that part, I had to take off this other part. And then that kind of like led to, I've taken the whole thing apart. My husband came home, opened up the apartment, and saw, I had it all laid out in the living room, and saw all the pieces of the vacuum cleaner. And he just walked in and said, "I'm going to go shopping. I'll be back later." And he just,
I thought you were going to tell me you were like 5 when you did this.
No. This was like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And I got it all put back together, and it worked great.
Awesome. Look at you.
I don't know if I could do it again, but.
You have an engineer's mind.
So people can get your book at anywhere books are sold, basically.
Yes. Yeah.
And I put the title and the publisher in the comments, so
awesome.
That should be enough information to allow you to find the book. If not, please let me know, and
It's on Amazon and Kindle. It's on Amazon and Kindle. And then please go to Facebook, Perfectly Precious Poolicious, and like that.
Oh yeah,
so, yeah.
Give that a like.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, one more thing I want you to do.
Okay.
If you enjoy this type of programming, you can help support me in my efforts to deliver high quality programming. I do 2 shows. This one, Dealing with Different, which talks about things like how to deal with people with disabilities, but it's generally just how not to be a jerk is what it is. What it boils down to. And then the other show that I do is about space and science. I was a science teacher for all those years, and so this is my outlet to do that. But the fun thing about that is that I get great images. I have some images that I've taken myself using remote controlled telescopes.
Cool.
And that's a lot of fun. That was my big hobby, was processing those. I would get the raw images and be able to process them. And it's a great hobby. So if you would like to support me in that, I need upgraded equipment. I need better lighting, better microphones, I need a backdrop. You can be a patron. You can sponsor the show. Go to patreon.com/Adam Tilted. And I'm going to put that in the comments. And I'm also going to put it up here on the screen right now, because I know you are just like, you've got another tab open right now, right? And you're like, I need to see.
Hold on.
Patreon.com. Everybody who's watching this at this point, they've opened up another tab. They're ready to
That's
give.
Right. Absolutely.
And $1.
$1.
I mean, any little bit helps. You think I'm kidding when I say that, but I'm serious. It does take an investment to make these things happen. They don't happen for free. So you can help, and I would really appreciate it.
Yeah, and listen, are you super excited about the eclipse coming?
Yes.
And guess what?
Yes.
I have a
Yes.
friend. I have a friend in Europe who is producing the glasses to protect your eyes so you can look at the solar eclipse.
Yes. I think that's in August, I believe.
August 21st.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I know someone who's in the path of totality.
Okay.
And so we've been, because parts of the United States won't see the full total eclipse.
Right. I
It
know.
will have either started or is ending by the time they rotate into view.
Well, they're supposed to have like 1 million people here at a park, like 20 minutes from me, with dignitaries because of what they'll be able to see 20 minutes from me.
Yeah, great.
Crazy, crazy stuff.
Oh
Every
yeah,
hotel is booked.
Tennessee. Yeah, it's in the
Yes.
path of totality. Yeah.
Yeah, because all the hotels are already booked. People are planning crazy
I
to
think
get up.
Houston is like just too south, just a little too south.
Okay, are you going to drive where you can go see it?
Probably. I'm going to. I don't know. We'll see. The universe may be pushing me in that direction anyway. So we'll see what happens.
It's going to magnetize your wheelchair there,
That's
right?
right.
You'll be on
That's
the
right.
road.
Yeah, I can't miss that. I've seen one before when I was a child.
Yeah, I feel like I saw one too. I don't know. What year were you born?
1971.
Okay, so I'm 67. I'm a little older than you, but I swear I remember one too when we were kids.
There was one, yeah. And I got my braces done at the dental school at the University
Oh,
of North Carolina
cool.
in
Did they do a
Chapel
good
Hill.
job? Did they do a good
They
job?
did, but I didn't wear my retainers, so I have this
Oh,
space
you're a bad
that,
boy.
yeah. And
Yeah.
then a little gap that's just there to punish me for the rest of my life or until I can afford or feel like dealing with braces again. But basically they had to reconstruct the whole bottom of my jaw and move it forward
Wow.
because it was too small.
Well, they did a
So
good job.
thank you. Yeah. I was such an unusual case that I was like the subject of several
Oh,
theses.
yes, species.
Theses?
Yeah, it sounds like a movie.
Theses. It sounds like something I want to back slowly away from and not make eye contact with. But anyway, thank you so much,
Oh my
Mary
gosh.
Elizabeth, for being my guest. This has been a lot of fun, and I am so looking forward to part 2 when we are going to dive into some of the specific things that are happening so that people
Yes,
are aware of some of the problems, so we can get we need to get a movement
oh, I agree.
happening
I
to
agree. I
change
totally agree.
this. And so
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to that, and I will let you guys know as soon as we have that scheduled. So
Absolutely.
thanks for tuning in. Don't
Yeah.
forget to sponsor me at Patreon, and I will see you on Monday for What's Up with Adam Tilted at 5:30 p.m. Central Time.
Awesome. Thank
Goodbye.
you. Bye. Thanks, Adam.